The title is Emerging Technologies Shaping the Future of Infrastructure. And doing this is Engineer Felix, Nwankwo, MNSE, MNICE. And if you check our brochure, we have his full profile on page 12. For the sake of time, I won't be reading what we have here. So we have him seated. A round of applause for Engineer Felix Nwankwo. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. The session chairman is the IPP, immediate past president of ACEN. That's Engineer F. Ajibade Oke, FNSE. A round of applause for our IPP. A round of applause for him, please. Thank you so much, sir. I just hope we'll be able to manage time. We should be done with this session in the next 25 or 30 minutes. So I would like to call to the podium. Okay, I think you will just sit there and have your thing. Okay. Please, can I get the other microphone, please? Okay, please let me give the chairman the microphone. Chairman, sir, over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, my overzealous MC. We have, the time now is 14 minutes, 12 minutes past 12. So we have already, we are supposed to be here at 11:40 a.m. So we are very, very short on time. That means, my engineer, I'm going to be strict on time with you. We have 25 minutes. I believe we'll talk for 15 minutes. Possibly I'll summarize if there's a need for about a minute, and then we ask questions for 10 minutes. Is that okay for you? So can we, please, we are going to be strict on time. Questions, if it's too long, I will cut it. So thank you very much. So can we go on?
Special guest of honor, and also please permit me to stand on the already established protocol. And before I start also, I want to thank our special guest of honor, Engineer Rafindadi, who has done justice to this theme, and he has set the foundation for this my presentation today. So most of the things I'll be saying, he has already, elaborated on them. So I think it has already, given me an advantage to use my time very well. So thank you very much, sir. So the topic I'll be talking about today is emerging technologies shaping the future of infrastructure. So the outline for my presentation today is, if you look at it, I just tried to, give an explanation of what emerging technology is, which we already know. Then, for the other part, just like I said earlier, our guest speaker has touched, so much on them. So it will just be, a run through that, I'll be talking about them. So basically, what I'll talk more on are some emerging technologies, in materials shaping the world of infrastructure. I use the world of infrastructure, but one of those materials is already shaping our infrastructure in Nigeria already. So I will talk more on those aspects. So I said, what are emerging technologies? The word emerging, ordinarily, it's more like new technology. But in the broad perspective of it, most of them are not really new, depending on the context and the field. Some of them have been existing, but, the time we get to know about it, it becomes emerging to us. So I have two definitions here, because if you go to so many texts, there are a lot of definition, that you get depending on the field. Even in the arts and social sciences, they still have emerging technologies in those areas. But in science and engineering, there are some very key ingredients that we can use to classify a particular either materials, either processes, either solutions as emerging. So because of time, I might not be able to read all through, but if you look at the definition 2, I say the emerging technologies can be said to be a radically novel and a relatively fast-growing technology, characterized by a certain degree of coherence, persisting over time, and with the potential to exert considerable impact on the social economic terrain, which is observed in terms of the composition of actors, institutions, partners, or interaction among those who are associated with the knowledge production process. And it must be prominent, it must have prominent impact. However, its prominent impact, however, lies in the future, and so its emergence phase, that's the beginning phase, is somewhat uncertain and ambiguous. So the key elements now in this definition are what I bolded: radically novel, fast-growing, coherence, impacts, and also uncertain and ambiguous, at the very beginning. So the drivers of emerging technology. So emerging technology, three major things, drives, new technologies that we see every day. Just like I said at the beginning, most of the things are not new. The car we are using today, that we are transforming to EV, even the phone we are using in the past, they were not as complex as they are today. So social need, the sense of social need must be strong, felt, or people or organization will not be prepared to, devote resources to technological innovation. So social need is one of the very key drivers of new technologies that, emerge on a daily basis. And an example is the need for an efficient tool, an efficient machine, in every field. And also the need for a more time-saving machine and equipment and processes, just like our key presenter also highlighted. Then social resources. So the main social resources that drives innovation and production are capital, material, and skilled personnel, which is knowledge, which must be readily available. So for a society or a country or a community to really, move in the direction of this emerging technology, these three things, especially this number 2, is very key. And, we as engineers, we are standing here, in terms of skilled personnel, so knowledge. So when there is knowledge, this technology, they tends to, be adopted and move very fast. And me, I think, personally, I think, one of the main resources there actually is even the skilled personnel, which is knowledge. Then the third one is social ethos, that is culture. Culture to, to adopt new ideas and new solutions. So I think society needs to be ready and receptive to consider new ideas and innovative trends. Just like I was saying, some of all these solutions or technologies, they are not really new, but the moment we get them, it's good we start looking at it, in our own locality and trying to see how we could use them to impact, our processes and our infrastructure. So, emerging technology and the future of infrastructure. So this part, keynote speaker really, talked about it very well, and I learned a lot from what he spoke. So emerging technology and the future. So future infrastructure. Now, these are the three key elements that are driving the adoption and also the changes we see in our infrastructure today. And the first one is decarbonization. And I say the increased need to deploy a wide range of carbon abating solutions and resilient infrastructure through the development of innovative processes and materials to replace conventional methods and materials. So in the world today, a lot of research, a lot of studies is going on, to bring in new materials, that will reduce, carbon emission. And, it is estimated that, concrete is one of the material that emits about 10% of greenhouse gases. So a lot of research is going on, at least definitely we cannot eradicate concrete completely, but at least to have a material that, can reduce, the use of, concrete, or reduce especially for sustainability. So the second one is energy efficiency, and renewable energy. So this is one area that, a lot, is being done to, change, the machines, the power, especially in the aspect of power generations, in the aspect of, even the, kind of machine we use, or even in our cars today that we are trying to shift, from the use of fossil fuel to, electric and other, aspect that is not renewable. So the transition to clean energy is happening worldwide at a faster pace. This is evident in a series of policies, agreements, and measures that is being put in place by regions and countries all over the world. And an example of this is the United Nations Development Goals and also the Paris Agreement. Then the third one is smart infrastructure, which also has been well elaborated in the course of this keynote speakers presentation. So smart infrastructure could be smart building, could be smart water, smart, everything should be smart. And what this smart is all about? It's just integration of advanced technology like AI, Internet of Things, data analytics, and building information management, BIM, to improve the efficiency and sustainability of infrastructure. Is rapidly developing and adopted in design and development of cities, and just like keynote speaker spoke about increasing population. So increasing in population and a lot of other challenges are what is driving the adoption of smart cities and smart infrastructures. So key value points. So I talked about. So I said, it is important to know that emerging technologies and solutions have continuously been evolving. So it's an evolving process for many years due to continuous research and development. So with some processes, materials, and solutions. So it's cut across every area, and in engineering now, every area from materials to how we do the construction, especially in a way that will save us time, in a way that will make the project very fast. So these are processes that keeps evolving. So that project that we can construct in the past for 1 year, we can do it in 5 months and save time and save cost. So the following are some value points that drives the adoption also. That's one, we're trying to protect our environments, and then to enhance efficiency and productivity, because most of these solution, they makes us they do what we do faster, and also reduce even let me say failure, do it faster, and also safety, and also cost saving, and most importantly sustainability, so that we'll have enough resources also that future generations can still use. So emerging technology, I say some international agreements already shaping the future of infrastructure, just like our keynote speaker spoke a lot about carbon credits. So carbon credits, the agreement by so many countries. So many countries have invested so much in research that what some of the materials and solutions we are still adopting today, they are not even using them any longer. So, and it is important that we, try to catch up with these countries, because if not, after a while, they always come to us, and it's better, we are prepared So these are some of the international agreements, although there are a lot of them. Some are regional basis. Even in Nigeria, I think Nigeria has climate change policies. So the United Nations is leading the change for innovative technology for building resilient and sustainable infrastructure with a focus on positive impact on the environment through the Sustainable Development Goals and implementation of the Paris Agreement. So the United Nations have, I think, almost 16, almost seven of them are really, centered on, sustainable development goals. And most of these 7 goals, I think 7, 8, 9, 10 or so, 11, 12. So most of these SDG goals are, centered on sustainability, and most sustainability is all about, trends these are trends that will shape. So other countries also are coming together. Other countries are coming together to make some form of commitments. So an example is the Green Procurement Pledge signed by the United States of America, United Kingdom, Canada, Germany. And this pledge simply is committed to using low and near zero emission steel, cement, and concrete in public, procurement. As I like to always quote our keynote speaker is somebody I admired a lot. My younger self, I've not met him before, but I've read a lot of his article, and his citation is something that when I read, I get inspired. So our keynote speaker, said a lot about, the carbon credits. And how it works.
5 more
Okay,
minutes.
thank you. So let me run through. So I highlighted two materials, that we need to look into. They might shape, or they are already shaping the future of infrastructure. So, and the 5 in my definition, the 5 points I made mention of, they are already there, which is radically novel. They are fast growing. They are coherence. Easy to understand the design and other aspect of it, and the impact in the environment and everything. And it's no longer ambiguous because their processes are well documented. And those two are glass, fiber, reinforced polymer, and geosynthetic engineered materials and solutions. This one is already here. It has been, we've been using it, for a lot of projects. And most of the project we use it, I think I would say, they come already designed. So the contractors that use it in Nigeria, they just implement it. So, so I'll just quickly, run through this, these two materials. And the good thing about these two materials I specifically highlighted here is that, the raw material for manufacturing them, we have them in abundance in the country. So it's just, I'm looking forward to in the future, because these are one of, the area I specialize on. So I'm looking forward in the future, we could have, them, domicile here, in terms of manufacturing. So the first one is the glass reinforced polymer bar. So it's a high tensile strength reinforcement alternative to steel reinforcement. GRB is made by weaving glass fiber into fabric before being implemented with polymers and foam. So if you even look at the photographs, you see it's used, for pavements. It's used for, almost all structural, construction. So because of time, I will just run through. So these are the reasons for rapid and significant development of this particular material. So some attributes, so they are about 4 times lighter in weight than the equivalent strength of steel bar, and lighter weight means faster construction, less transportation, and other factors. They are non-existent, they don't corrode, they are rust-free. And we all know that one of the major, challenge with steel is, rusting. And now that especially we are moving towards rigid pavement, if we do a road with, if we do rigid pavement in a place where we have, the possibility of, ingress of water into the steel, and it starts rusting. The maintenance will be, very huge cost. So this solution is rust-free. They don't conduct heat. The service life is even higher than steel, and most importantly, it is eco-friendly. So it's sustainability. So, and the technical database are well established. So I shared a case. So this case was a research done by the Minnesota Department of Transportation Office of Research and Innovation. So the link to the full technical presentation is there, but because of time, I will just go to, what the summary of the whole case. So the research summary. So the researchers that embarked on this project, they studied the rural bridge built in 2016 near Elgin, Minnesota, that used GFRP rebar in the bridge deck. So they reported that it performed well and proving sufficiently strong for use and an alternative to corrosion sustainable steel bar. So, so the adoption is growing very wide. So not be surprised if one contractor brings such design. So if you look at the photograph by the left, these are some. If the one top, you see some elements of. Those are sensors, to test the performance of the bridge over time, which gets distinguished special speakers already elaborate on those technologies. And the second one on the down is when it was some testing processes. So if you look at the remarks from some of the researchers.
A grace of 1 minute. A grace of 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So these are just two remarks I picked. So the findings met our expectations. We learned about the design process, ironed out some ambiguities in the design code, and are trying FRP in another new bridge to compare its performance to epoxy coated rebar. So epoxy is just a coating in place of the galvanized. So then the second one is, GRP is a promising reinforcement alternative. The long-term saving advantage in repair, maintenance, and labor, compared with conventional steel can be significant. So these are some of the researchers, and the full report is there on the link I shared. So the second one is geosynthetics. I'll just rush this one. So geosynthetics, I think a lot of us, must have used it in one or two projects. But the one I just want to highlight here is on MNSE, mechanically stabilized earthwork. So these are the industries that it's used: transport and civil engineering, environmental and waste management, mining, agriculture, energy, and site developments, and the applications are there. Then the reason for the rapid and significant development also is not too far from the first one: eco-friendly, versatility in application, they are cheap, and a lot of very many advantages. So this particular one in Africa, even in Uganda now, they have it embedded in their code, in their highway code. So when doing design, these materials, this photograph below is in Kenya. So you can see they're already reinforcing their roads with these materials. The one on top is a score protection on a bridge. So I'll just run through. So development of geosynthetic in Nigeria, technology at a glance. So, like I said, emerging technologies, they might not really be new because in other places it has already been established and it's a robust, So I said needle punch geotextile was first used in Backross Dam construction as high as 7 meter high as filter fabric since in 1970. The first conference on geosynthetic was held in Paris in 1977. The International Geosynthetic Society was established in 1983. So you can see it's really growing. Then coming back to Nigeria, I say early application in Nigerian construction industry was recorded in the oil and gas industry in the 90s. Most of these oil and gas companies. They bring the design from Europe and America, and they do
Time
it.
up.
I'm done. Let me
Yeah.
so this is just for this technology. This is just a difference. Please put the next slide. Sorry. So this is just a difference for what I want to, as a development of geosynthetic technology in Nigeria at a glance. So I'm just taking a specific solution, which is MNSE, and the difference is just this is just the difference between a reinforced concrete and this material. So what you are eradicating is the concrete element, and almost 90% of the concrete element, and the reinforcing steel materials, in place of this new material that is, I say is emerging. Then this next slide, please follow me. Let me rush this. Okay. So this is a chart that shows you, in terms of different reinforcing, different retaining walls and materials and the cost. So these are next slide now. Follow me, please. So these are some MSc projects that have been done in Nigeria. I'm done. These are some of them. So this one is in Port Harcourt. This one was done in 2018. So this is in Lagos. It was done in 2016. So this is in Lagos also. I know some of our people from Lagos, they are aware of all this side. This is Lagos. It was done in 2016 also. This is still Lagos. 2018, this is also Lagos. So, okay. So, I think our keynote speaker has talked a lot about the role of consulting engineers, so I'll skip this. Then my recommendation and conclusion. So this is the last slide, sir. So let me just read it out. As a recommendation, ACEN should consider introducing new training courses to our already existing training curriculum, and then periodical webinar with emphasis on emerging solutions that are shaping the future of infrastructure development. So on this note also, I would like to even, with the permission of the president and ESCO, if there's an opportunity, we could, look at scheduling a webinar for those, two solutions, so that we can look in depth into the technical aspect of it and design. So on that note, I want to say thank you for this opportunity, for this lecture, and thank you, sir, for the time.
I think before he comes to sit down, rounds of applause again, Steve and Long. So it is difficult to bend the neck. But you all know, actually I was enjoying it, but time was not enjoying us. So that's why we had to cut him short. Well, essentially, I don't think I need to summarize because he has taken my time, but he has told us that new technology, some of it we are just knowing about. And we have to get them done. Everything is in a slide, which I think we are going to have. You could see that he has put in this wealth of experience. A Delta, born in Kaduna, trained in Wusasa, and all these things. So we have seen that coming out of him. We will end up ensuring that we follow whatever we have, but he still has time to talk. And so I've given 3 people chance to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, it's either of 2 things. Either you understand it too well, or you don't understand it at all. So let me ask for 3 questions. Your name, your firm, and then the question quickly.
My name is Muhammad Zama. I'm a retired public servant. It's really interesting, actually, what you've just discussed about this trend, but I have a very difficult time understanding and trying to ask you these 2 questions, actually. The first one is, you've talked about the resources being available and, of course, the knowledge being available. Now we have two contending factors, what we call the knowledge-based economy and the resource-based economy, right? Now, when you have those two conflicting factors, in most cases, I want you to give us probably an overview how to marry those two things, put it in perspective, the availability of the resources in this country and the potential for investments in this country, particularly the five-bar enforcement bar that you've talked about. That's the first aspect of the question I want to ask. Now, the second question I want to ask is, we're talking about future trends in engineering and infrastructure. I know about the Chinese and the Indians using local technologies and adopting new trends to improve or value addition. If there's something that you can give us an overview, particularly about the other techniques that we've talked about, how do we use the available local materials that we have, particularly in rural areas, to achieve the objective? And thirdly, and most importantly, it's about cost. You've not actually talked about cost, because I saw that the chart you saw, the chart you drew is showing US dollars. I'm not sure whether if you understand the inflationary rate at which we are going. A dollar is about 1,500 now. So what about the cost implication if an investor is going to invest in this business, looking at the inflationary rate of this country? Because we are, of course, in a money-driven economy where there's no stabilization in terms of the monetary policies. Thank you. These are the questions that I want to ask.
Thank you very much. The Yoruba will say it's a three-man, so you are a three-man person. So can we have the second question? I hope that will not be a four-man man.
Good afternoon. My name is John Layemi Onyiloye, Vassons Concept Nigeria Limited, Vassons Concept Consultant Limited, and President of the Future Leaders. I want to appreciate our very own engineer Felix for a very well-delivered and well-researched paper. And I just want him to throw more light on, yes, you have said and emphasized that these technologies, and they are not new in the sense that they have been practiced in other climes. Something like a circular economy, sustainable and resilient infrastructure, decarbonization, and carbon rating. But the level of acceptance in our country and in our practice is a bit low. In terms of, because I followed COP28 and the breakthrough on concrete, breakthrough on steel, and to my amazement, Ghana was added to that in COP28, but Nigeria is not ready. There's no documentation. How can we work towards embracing this technology and a shift in our infrastructural procurement? This is what I want to elaborate on. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I'll give you time to clap for him if you still want to. The last question. Last question. Yes.
My name is Ibrahim. The presenter spoke on reinforcement alone. And I think concrete attracts a lot of cost. And at a certain point, there is an attempt to reduce the volume of cement in a concrete using pozzolanic materials. I want the presenter to shed more light to balance his submission between reinforcement and concrete, because they are critical material. We also want to hear how do we save cost of construction through this modification of construction material. Thank you very much.
I think we've had enough. So can I ask our presenter to respond to the questions?
Thank you very much, my chairman rapporteur. And so to respond to the three questions, I think the first question borders on the, locally available resources. Yes, just like I mentioned, we have all these materials, locally available, like the fiber reinforced, the major materials, the raw materials are silica, limestone, and some other, chemical additives, which we have in abundance here. So, and you try to look at the cost. So, currently we don't have it, here. You were talking about the dollar cost. On that graph I showed on the screen, if maybe I explained it, you would have seen that particular, because the graph has so many, other materials. So this particular one I was explaining was even far cheaper. So for the cost, currently we are not manufacturing it. That means if we are importing it, we are using dollar. So if we are manufacturing it, that means we are saving our forex, and also that's another way of improving our economy. So I think the dollar, because if we are materials we are using today, we are still importing most of them. So if we have them imported, that means a lot more, savings, and our infrastructure at the same time will still be very efficient. And you talked about the knowledge. Yes, the knowledge at this point is not too, widely, spread in Nigeria. So that's why I was, offering an opportunity. I can always organize with the permission of ACEN. We could always organize webinars, to talk more on this design, and also have time to, ask questions. I could also invite some technical experts, in that regard also, so that there will be cross-fertilization of ideas. So the second question centered on acceptance. Well, I think acceptance of this, because this thing is not new, so acceptance of this technology lies, so I think, majorly on consultant, because like the ones I showed on the screen that are already being done in Nigeria, it's just about bringing the design, showing the benefit in terms of value engineering, looking at what you'll be saving, and also looking at the future. So this is why it was selected. So most of those solutions, all those reinforced wall I showed, ordinarily, if somebody has not brought it in, it would have been fully reinforced, but all those are geosynthetic solutions. So this is why I also am using the opportunity that there should be more discussions, topics, especially for our School of Engineering. We should add some of these, topics, so that if the consultant is aware of it, he can design with it. And if he designs with it, he presents it to the client, and the client see the value and also how much he will be saving. Definitely, the adoption will be there. So, the last question was centered on reinforcement and concrete. So, using this GRP to a very large extent, just like I said, it is even rust-free. So, number one, you're reducing even the amount of concrete in terms of the thickness. For example, if you're designing a slab, your cover can even be reduced, because most of the time we do our design to prevent water ingress. So if you have a reinforcement that is rust-free, so you can, and also a lot of, since we are still talking of emerging technology, a lot of research has been going on, in terms of cement and concrete to reduce, maybe use small volume of concrete and also reduce the amount of limestone we use. So these are emerging technologies, and I think going forward, possibly we'll have more time to discuss a lot of all these solutions, because this is just two I mentioned. I think we'll need to, going forward, continue, the discussion. So thank you very much. I trust I've answered, those three questions.
Thank you very much. We have had a good benefit of your knowledge. We have had a good benefit of your experience, and we are very grateful for it. I thank everybody who participated, because we have a good live audience. So thank you very much. My president, with your permission, through the MD. I'm sure that everybody that has this email recorded will have this lecture or presentation paper sent to their email. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. A round of applause for the session chairman and also the speaker, Engineer Felix Nwankwo. Thank you so much. Just would like to just have you hold on a bit. I would like to make this announcement that earlier on, while we're having the presentation from the keynote speaker, we're supposed to give a plaque to the session chairman, which is the ACEN president, Engineer Kamselem. So I would like that we get to do that now before we present the plaque to the current session chairman and also the speaker. So I would like to call on the president, ACEN, that's Engineer Kamselem, and to present this plaque, I'll be calling on the representative of the Carbon chairman, that's in person of Buga Al-Hassan Ibrahim Marke, to kindly present the plaque to the ACEN chairman, ACEN president, please. So ACEN president, sir. Okay. So I would like to please come on the podium, sir, so that we can have a better shot, sir. A round of applause for them once again, please.
On behalf of the chairman, Council of Registered Builders of Nigeria, Dr. Samson Ame Opalua, I present this award to the President ACEN on behalf of the chairman. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. So I think we just have the president hold on the stage because he will be presenting the next set of plaques. Okay, thank you, sir. So I would like to call on, which one, sir? Okay, sir. The speaker, Engineer Felix Nwankwo, for the plaque presentation.
A very vibrant and diligent young engineer whom I have been looking forward to closely work with. Engineer Felix Nwankwo really is, I think with people like them, I think ACEN and even the engineering community will have a very good future. On behalf of the council and entire membership of the Association for Consulting Engineering in Nigeria, I am honored and privileged to present this plaque as recognition for being speaker number 1 at the 2024 Extraordinary General Meeting. Congratulations.
Okay, President, we have just one more to go, which is the plaque presentation to Engineer F. Ajibade Oke, the session chairman of the first session we just had. A round of applause for him, please.
He has collected so many of these awards, and I thought he will be tired to collect more. So, but the old man is still wanting to collect more. So. Okay, no, the young man rather. My sort of pillar of sorrow, because this is somebody that